Has this ever happened to you or someone you know? Did someone just so happen to have their camera out to capture you having an unflattering moment without your permission? Did that person who captured you having this ridiculous asinine moment take it upon themselves to upload your unflattering moment to a platform for others to ridicule or make commentary on? Was your blundering incident so preposterous that the video garnered so many views that you have now become a cultural icon of stupidity? Did you know there's a chance you're entitled to compensation for your celebrated calamity? Hi, I'm Sherman Lowe, viral reparations lawyer. That's right, I'm a viral reparations lawyer. If this situation I just described applies to you or anyone you know, do not sit at home one more minute being a penniless pushover watching your video receive 20 million more views than the highest watched show on any major network. You deserve to be compensated for your witless folly as much as the platform who's hosting your foolishness. You no longer have to be famous and flat broke. Let me and my growing legal team attempt to collect what's owed to you for being an idiot. Don't wait 1 minute mulling means thinking, whether or not you should contact me. Do it now. If you have ever been made a meme, a GIF, or had the unfortunate incident recorded and go viral, you should be on the phone calling me this exact moment. In fact, you should be interrupting me while I'm making this video encouraging you to call in. Don't waste another minute. Make the call and make this video go viral so I can help others like you who are famous and flat broke. Find out if you're entitled to viral reparations. I've been a victim of viral reparations misconduct for over 7 years. Claim your compensation for your clumsy celebrated casualty. Call now. Don't be a broke and the butt of the joke. Call Sherman Lowe.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to a live art museum. You are listening to a live art museum. I am in the process of creating what I believe is my art, my contribution, my way of art is a conversation. You talk about art. You don't do anything else to art but look at it and fucking talk about it. You don't make love to it. You don't, you try to hold on to something. You try to like say, look, I want to capture this art. People buy people's paintings and hang them in their homes. I have someone's art. I have someone's inspiration. I have someone's thoughts that was so unique that everybody thought this was amazing, and I have the only copy of it. I have this person's original fucking thought. That's art. Original thought is art. Someone's thought conceptualized is art. The art of questioning something. There should be an art to questioning shit without people saying, what's wrong with you? Why do you have a problem with that? Or we don't want you questioning things. You get killed in certain countries for questioning things. What are you doing? Why are you questioning that? Who told you to question that? How did you know to even to question that? Like, people will get mad at you for figuring out how to check them. How? What made you think that you could ask that question? They did it during slavery. A slave be like, yo, I don't think this is right. Sir, I was talking to some people. They didn't talk back. But I was asking all like, don't y'all think this is wrong? And they just went back to working. And I was like, fuck that shit. I'm about to go talk to this white guy up here who's been spitting tobacco on his shirt all day and ask him, excuse me, sir, what exactly gives you the right to make us do this and y'all do nothing all day? Just run it to me one more time, because they said just because, and I was like, that's not an answer. That's art. To question something, to figure out a way to creatively question something. Or it don't even have to be creative. It's just be like, look, I need to figure out what the fuck is going on. Try to find something good in everything now. As a part of my therapy, my therapist is like, You know the dark side. Oh, you live in the dark. You are comfortable in the dark. I'm like, Bane, like, I was born in the dark. I was born in it. I adapted to it. I'm in it. Bitch, I am the darkness. Like, that was Bane. I'm comfortable in the dark. Like, I'm too comfortable in the dark. That's why when people get mad at me or pissed at me, I'm like, what are you doing? You're like feeding me. In a way. But I'm comfortable like with, I can find the fucked up shit quick. Easy. So now I'm trying to find the good in shit. That's me using my acting chops. Like, I can play comedy, but it's like, can I play this other character? So dynamic, so layered. There's levels to this character. He's going through this, and then he's over here dealing with that problem, and then whatever, right? So my goal is to try to find good in shit. And my test has been, I'm trying to find all the good in COVID. That's a challenge, right? It's way more. I think that's a challenge, other than trying to. It's something I want to say. It's like I don't even have the vocabulary to say the analogy that I want to make to not get removed from society, because who the fuck am I? And then I'm black, and then it's like I'm rubbed out, like I'm erased off the memorial of people that ever lived, and people are like, I mean, it's not right, but you heard what he said. They killed him, right? Try to find the good in COVID. And the good I found in COVID is it did something that society, the people that benefit from society never slowing down, was afraid of. It gave people an opportunity to sit down and think about what's really important. Like, do I really give a shit about any of this rat race that I'm on? I can't tell you how many things I was told that I should do, had to do, was not a man if I didn't do things that I have attempted at and have not been good at. And I only did them because someone said, you gotta do this shit, or they won't let you into the human Hall of Fame. Like, you gotta do these things if you want to get into the human Hall of Fame. And it's like, am I not already human? When I die, am I not gonna die a human? Like, unless I turn into a robot or a fucking a mushroom or something, like, I'm still gonna die a human. You trying to convict me, beat me up because I made a mistake? I didn't have the right information, the data. Didn't grow up where that you value gave a fuck, or I gave a fuck about it. Now I gotta like fucking be terrorized by you the entire time, for the rest of the time I'm here. I'm gonna be terrorized by a motherfucker the rest of the time I'm here because whatever we did didn't work out. Now I gotta be terrorized by you, or you like hire people to terrorize me while I'm here and just like make my existence fucking shitty. And there are people out there that's like, I mean, you did blah blah. It's like, okay. You're not allowed to make mistakes, because if you make mistakes, you gotta pay for those mistakes, even though you didn't know what the fuck you was doing. I don't think anybody would purposely fuck themselves if they knew how severe the consequences were. And then you have to ask yourself, if a motherfucker is willing to get the information and still do the thing and willing to endure the consequences, then you gotta ask yourself, what type of person is that? That's a damaged person. A motherfucker that's like, I know if I put the match in there, it's gonna blow my face off, but I don't know why I'm okay with it blowing my face off. Like, you gotta ask yourself, why is someone okay with blowing their fucking face off? There's something about that person that's damaged that makes them say, the only time I feel something is when this happens, because that's all I've ever fucking known. We don't have the capacity, the empathy to try to take that into consideration. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So now I'm in this pandemic and the earth slowed down, like really slowed down. Slowed down to the point where if you have not had an opportunity to think about what the fuck is important to you or ask yourself, why do I even give a fuck about some of this shit? You had that opportunity to just sit and be like, do I even care about this shit? And why am I allowing people that don't mean shit to me dictate what I should do with my life to be a part of society? Like, if you didn't do self-inventory, you wasted, you squandered your time. There's something wrong when a motherfucker got time to make your life miserable. That's a crazy person, dude. I know I have been crazy before. I have made time to make people's lives miserable at one point in time because I was hurt. I got triggered by something and I responded. I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about today, but then I think a trigger would be a good way to have something to talk about. Funny is the only thing I feel good about. Laughter is the only thing that makes me feel good. The only time I feel alive is when I feel like the thing that keeps me alive the most is pain. Like, I feel pain all the fucking time. And that's the only thing I know to live off of. Like, if you only feed a motherfucker bread and say that's all they can ever eat, then they just live off bread. They don't know there's other shit out there. I just live off pain. As uncomfortable as that may be, all this shit ain't gonna be funny, people. Some of this is just me trying to figure out how to make some of this shit funny. Like, if I go on tour or something, God forbid somebody say, I know how to make some money off of this nigga, then I'll be in the city near you. If not, someone will look at this and be like, I don't want to hear this nigger pontificate out of his mouth anymore. I'm sick of it. Give us a happy Negro. This Negro is broken. This Negro has an opinion. We don't like it. This Negro is trying to get people to pay attention to things. We don't like it. I'm just trying to figure shit out. I just want to understand. I got to try to find out. I got to find the funny in why life is the way it is, because if I don't, I will not give a fuck about it. I won't, because I only recognize life with pain, and I've had enough pain, so I'm trying to find funny now. I'm trying to find funny in everything, and I don't want to be patronized or pandered to. Like, if you genuinely don't try to find the funny in life, like, it'll kill you, dude. This shit'll kill you. I don't know how I've made it this far, because I do not find funny in a lot of shit, but I work hard at it. Triggers. Let's ask the bitch in the box what she says triggers are. Hey Siri, what's the definition of triggers?
As a noun, trigger means a small device that releases a spring or catch and so sets off a mechanism, especially in order to fire a gun. Do you want to hear the remaining one?
Yes.
As a verb, it means cause an event or situation to happen or exist.
It's a very beat around the bush definition. It's like something, the cause of something to exist. So I guess a trigger can be, smoking is a trigger for me, because my mom smoked and I hated it. I do not like smokers. I don't know how to say this without someone watching or hearing this and saying, well, fuck you too, motherfucker. But I don't know how someone could, like, take a leaf, light it, inhale it, fire go into your chest, come back up black smoke, and then you like blow that out. Like, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how. Me. I don't know. I just said me. I didn't say I don't understand how anybody can. I don't know how you can inhale fire, smoke that's like getting into your lungs. It's like, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that. So smoking for me was a trigger, especially when, when they have the ads about people dying from smoking and, cancer and shit like that. So I'm like, how do you do something that there is a high mortality rate in this particular practice? How do you do that? That's crazy to me. My brain does, because your body's in survival mode. Like, you're trying to survive. You're trying to exist. So when you do something that could possibly not make it possible for you to exist, I don't know why you do it. That triggers me. That's a trigger for me. Like, when I meet somebody, I ask questions about how they take care of themselves. Like, how do you drive? How do you lock your doors? What do you do to make sure that you live as long as you can? Like, I want to hear this is how I managed to get this far, and I'm working on ways to prolong it every day. Because like I said, this is obsession. This thing about dying really bothers me. So if you're not over there in the lab trying to figure out, let me see how I can tack on 15 more years, and then that'll give me some time to think about how to add 15 more years on or whatever. Like, the goal should be forever. The goal is forever. You get told that, just enjoy the little bit of time you have here. Then I feel like there's a whole other group of people that's like, nah, man, we keep living. We're going to keep living. We'll tell these people to they got a cutoff date and they buy into it. And we just make them work hard for us so we don't have to do shit. We just sit around on our asses and reap the benefits of watching motherfuckers bury themselves trying to get to something they'll never achieve, which is forever with us. It's like the Eternals for Marvel. That's a rabbit hole. You know what's so sad? I'm just talking out loud, and there's somebody that's gonna watch this and like really take the time to just try to bury my fucking thoughts. Like, you stupid. You're like, and that I don't understand. But how you take care of yourself is a trigger for me. And it became a trigger because my mom had to tell me about death when I was 6 years old. Finding out that you're never going to exist anymore is like, what? You telling me this isn't forever? What the fuck? What? I've been tricked. I was told that if I came here, I would be here forever. Like, nah, man. It's a limited time only situation, champ. It sickens me. Right? Bothers my spirit. So anytime I talk to people and they say, oh, I do this, and it's like, are you out of your mind? Are you fucking crazy? For the longest time, I would never drink. I didn't drink. Like, I didn't start drinking until college. High school, friends drink, smoke weed. They did everything. I don't know how these motherfuckers made it this far. Some of them are still alive. Don't know how they did it. Amazing. Fucking Houdinis. Greatest magic trick in the world. I've seen these kids do horrible shit and then still exist, which is fucking amazing to me. I never drank, and then I started drinking when I got to college, because when you go to college, you got to be cool and you want everybody to like you. So you're like, let me drink, you know what I'm saying? Let's get fucked up, because that's what I'm doing tonight, man. I want to get fucked up. I never understood it. I have seen people get hammered, walk, fall, bust they shit wide open, head bleeding out, brains, ideas, thoughts, just all over it. Phone numbers, blood, all in the blood. Like, what's that? It's crazy. What's in our blood, right? Bust their head wide open, bleeding, drinking, and we'll do that shit again. I'm like, what the fuck is going? What are you doing? So how someone takes care of themselves is a trigger for me. And the problem with triggers is if you're not aware of them, you're going to hurt somebody. If you're not aware of your triggers, you're going to hurt somebody. It's just what it is. And the person that, you know, you're hurting is not going to give a fuck about the fact that you're not aware, self-aware of your triggers. Then they're not going to give a fuck that you don't know how to handle your triggers. You're just going to have to fucking eat that crow. Because no one has the capacity to accept the fact that you just may not know. Everybody wasn't taught. If you don't know something exists, how can you know to, like, apply it? It's like scholarship. Like, if you got money for people and you don't tell them about it, how the fuck they supposed to know you got money for them? You didn't know? No, I didn't. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody don't get information the same. Some people don't get information. I've met people that have never. I met people in New York that had never been to Manhattan before. I've met a lady that was like, I've never been to Manhattan. I don't know how that's fucking possible. But she said that shit like, nah, I ain't never been to Manhattan. Like, she had not left Brooklyn. Or was it the Bronx? Whatever. Never. So it's like, how do you... There's artists that exist that I don't fucking know about, that have hits. I don't know about them. Because no one's introducing me to them. I'm not in the circles that these artists even played in. So how can you go look for something that you don't know exists? Get triggered by how somebody takes care of themselves. And if you know how to handle your triggers, that's a beautiful thing. If you don't know how to handle your triggers, that's a terrible thing. If you are aware of your triggers, there's hope. Some people can control them triggers. Some people can adapt. Some people can communicate that they've been triggered. Even trying to communicate that you've been triggered, it takes some finessing. Because somebody may not understand, oh, that thing you did, it made me uncomfortable because this happened to me, or this is how I grew up, or unfortunately, when I think of this, and then it's like, someone has to be willing to say, oh my God, I accept, or I understand, or I have the capacity to be with you regardless, or understand, like, get through this with you. Like, even though I don't have that, or I don't understand, I have never been through anything like that. To be able to be appreciated or understood, to be able to be accepted is to be understood by society or the person that you're dealing with. That's how acceptance works. It's like, I had to understand that before I can accept it. Like, that's what you want to do, but you can't. Like, society's like, for certain things, you just can't question it. It's like, I don't understand that. So because I don't understand it, I can't accept it. If society has already voted that this is acceptable and you don't understand it, you on your own. Like, you either gonna fucking pretend you understand it, or you're gonna be angry that you don't understand it, and you're gonna get removed from society because society, like, we're going this direction, we're not going back that way, and you're like, man, but I don't want to go that. Like, I'm trying to. A trigger for me was one time I had just graduated from high school. I can't remember. I just graduated from high school. Was I still in high school? I don't remember. It was after high school. Yeah, because this girl, she was a senior in high school, and seniors could leave campus. At certain schools, they could go to lunch or whatever, and then come back. That was like, that was the school system's way of saying, all right, guys, we know you're getting up there, so we're going to give you the chance to show us that you can be adults. Now, we're going to let the seniors leave the school campus to go get lunch elsewhere if that's what you choose to do. But you have to come back here. That's like at the same time as everybody else when it's time to go back to class. That was their way of saying, we're going to give you a little taste of adulthood. So when you go to college, you can say, hey, you know, in my old school, they used to let me leave for lunch off campus. So I'm ready for college now. I could take on anything. That was exactly what the fuck that was. They let us go to McDonald's. That was their way of saying, let's see if they can go to McDonald's and come back in a timely fashion. So I met this girl, and we went out. I forgot where I met her, but I met her. We didn't go out because I met her, and we exchanged numbers. This is 94, so there's no cell phones. There's no apps. There's barely internet. That shit is dialing, motherfuckers. 94, and we talked on the phone. She was like, well, why don't you come get me from school and we can go somewhere or whatever. And I was like, bet, I'll come. And at the time I was driving my grandmother's car, Ford Taurus. Woo, the things you would drive to go get somebody. I'm telling you, man. Listen. A dude will find a way. Listen to me. A dude will find a way. A dude will find a way. So I went and picked her up at school, and I walked on campus because I just graduated, so I still looked like I was in high school up until 25. And then I'm walking around campus, and the teachers just looking at me like, well, maybe it's one of these. All these nigger kids look the same. He's probably just got his hair cut different or whatever. Like, she didn't really question me. And I went to go meet the girl, and as we're walking towards my car, she pulls a cigarette out, and she's trying to impress me by showing me that she smokes. Or someone will be listening to this and saying, maybe she just smokes. But it's like, you pulling out a cigarette, we walking off campus. Like, what is this, the end of a fucking Thelma and Louise movie? Like, why are you doing all this fucking showmanship? Like, yeah, I'm about to go off with this guy who's just graduated, and I have a cigarette in my mouth now. Who's going to stop me? It's like, it was a turnoff. One, I was triggered by the fact that I was a turnoff. Two, I was triggered by the fact that she was smoking. And I didn't know how to tell her, hey, I don't like smoking, because I associated with you not giving a fuck about your life, so I don't want to be around you. I didn't know how to tell her that without hurting her feelings, or saying, hey, you know, you want to be with me, then you can't smoke. And I can't say that because, like, how dare you say someone can't, they're not allowed to do what the fuck they want to do, right? So I'm in a bind. So I say, yo, let me go to the bathroom real quick. She's like, you can't hold it when you get off campus. I'm like, nah, I need to go pee right now. And I went to go find a bathroom, and I snuck out of the bathroom without her seeing me, and I ran to my car and drove off, and I never saw her again. I just had to ghost her because I didn't know how to tell her, hey, your smoking that you think is cool and adult turns me off, and it also triggers me because I give a fuck about my life now, but this is not working for me. So I didn't know how to do that. It was a trigger. I didn't know how to handle that trigger. I didn't know how to tell this lady. I didn't have the language. I didn't have the words to say, hey, look, this makes me uncomfortable. I didn't have the emotional intelligence. I didn't know how to say, hey, I'm sorry, but this makes me feel uncomfortable. Could you please not do that? I didn't know how to do that. So I just said, fuck it. I'll just burn the whole thing down, because that's what you do. You just like, if something you don't like bothers you, you don't want to be around it anymore. So you got to destroy that connection. Even if you don't want to, or even when you realize you really didn't want to destroy that connection, you just wanted that whatever they're doing not to happen, and you don't know how to talk about that. Men don't know how to talk about their triggers. Women probably can. Women do. Men don't know how to talk about their triggers. We don't, because when we have triggers, that means we feel like we're saying our feelings were hurt. And a man is not supposed to have feelings. So it's like, how I trigger you? And it's like, because I got feelings. You got feelings? What the fuck is that about, right? That's what it is. let's talk about triggers. Let's get into it next time. I'm just bringing it up right now. We'll bring it out. We'll talk about it. I just wanted to bring it up and get to this is what triggers do. I left a girl that I thought was cute until I saw she like a Cabbage Patch doll with a fucking candy cigarette in her mouth. I was like, I can't do this shit. I left. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you're listening to it, if you're killing time with me, I appreciate it. If you're not, if you think I'm repulsive, I don't know what to tell you, my dude. You fucking sat through this shit, dumbass. But yeah, download the podcast. Email me at jktpodcast.com if you want to donate to the museum, the art exhibit, which is me. The art exhibit, which is me. You can donate at any of those fucking money apps or whatever. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, whatever. But yeah, let's keep growing, people. I'm just talking, just asking questions. I should be allowed to ask questions, right? It's fair.